Hi, welcome to Screens in Focus podcast. I'm Diana.
And I'm Brooke.
And this is episode 62. Today we are going to be talking about Fear the Walking Dead, season 5, episode 14, entitled Today and Tomorrow, and episode 15, Channel 5. We will also discuss the movie Downton Abbey and the limited series Unbelievable on Netflix. But before we dive in, how's it going, Brooke?
Great. It's hot.
It is.
Oh my gosh. I want to look back and see how many episodes that we recorded and we're like, it's hot.
I know.
Summertime.
We have the door open. We need some air.
Yes.
It's high 90s.
It's been warm.
So
it's supposed to cool off tomorrow. So that'll be, hopefully.
We're ready for fall.
Hey, I like summer. I like the hot, but I wouldn't mind it cooling off a little bit.
Me neither. I'm good. I'm ready for fall. I like it.
How are you, Diana?
I'm good. It's been a big week.
Oh, cool.
So many premieres of shows.
Oh, my gosh.
And what do you think of the Emmy wins? Have you seen any of the shows?
Oh, yes, I have. So that's pretty amazing that Game of Thrones won the best drama series.
Yes.
That's awesome.
I'm so happy.
Yeah. Especially with all the controversy that they had gone through,
I know.
too.
I thought this season was really good, though. And so I am thrilled that they won.
Perfect.
And I love that, Peter Dinklage won, too.
Dun 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 dun.
We should have worn our T-shirts in celebration.
Yes, I know. I missed that show. Oh, I missed it.
I know, I do too.
We're going to have to watch it again.
Yeah.
I love it.
I guess they'll have the prequel coming out at some point.
Oh, okay. I don't know when that's supposed to be.
I don't either, but we'll be watching it.
I know. Yeah, so I also watched Chernobyl, Ozark. I watched some of Marvelous Miss Maisel. Have you seen that?
I have. I'm up to date and I really, really like it.
Okay, cool.
I watched it because she won Best Actress last year.
Aww.
So it prompted me to want to know what it was. And so I'm like, I loved it. Yeah.
Cool. Well, it's definitely creative. It's got a great following. Yeah. So it's, watch the trailer if you haven't seen it. I would recommend it for those of you who love that time period.
Yeah.
And that type of,
I love that.
There's a little bit of dark humor.
Yes.
Right? I also watched Bandersnatch. It's on Netflix. Yeah. It's an interactive movie. I don't know what was going on.
Black Mirror.
Yeah, it's a Black Mirror, but it was a movie, right?
Wait, aren't you talking about the Black Mirror episode?
Black Mirror.
Where the interactive one where you can change the endings?
Oh, I just thought because it was pretty long, I thought it was a movie, but maybe it was just an episode.
Could be a movie.
We'll
have to go back and fact check that, but whatever. Just watch it. Black Mirror Bandersnatch.
Did you watch it?
I did.
Oh.
I watched my version of it.
Oh, okay.
I was a little bit confused. It was a while back. It was when it was first released. So
I have issues with that because I watched it for about an hour and a half, it felt like, and I only got 15 minutes through the damn movie. I was like, what the heck is going on?
I know.
I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone.
I know,
why
you
is
were.
this messing with me?
You were in the Twilight Zone.
Gosh. So anyways, I have to try that again because it was really frustrating. And then on my list of shows and movies to watch, it would be The Act, which is on Hulu.
Yes, I've heard
Gypsy
it was
Rose.
good.
Okay. It's a little chilling. I watched the documentary and that was just creepy. Killing Eve, I've been wanting to see. And then Fleabag won a lot of awards.
Yes.
So I want to see that.
Me too.
Cool.
So, with watching Fear the Walking Dead and how Ginny is, trying to get them to come her way and to the dark side. And they don't want to, but she sabotages them. And, at the end of the episode, they have to make a decision.
Ugh.
So
that was tough.
If you were put in that position, would you accept or ask for help from an enemy?
If they offered it and then I have to, if I'm, selling my soul, dang, that's really tough because you have, in this case, there were a lot of the community that they had to protect.
Yes.
They had no other choice and they had already walked 20 miles in a day and they needed to be protected at night. They got children
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had no water, no nothing, anything. But, that would be really hard to do, right? It's like, what are you selling? You're selling yourself, but then it's for survival. So do you do it and hope you can make it to the next day? Or do you just say, no, I'm not doing this? I've made it this far without you. I'll continue. Yeah. What if you weren't here?
Yeah. I have to think about that, like trying to live outside of Fear the Walking Dead episode 15. Because I want to say that I would set up a perimeter, sleep on it, and just kind of see what I could clear out in the morning.
That's actually, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to kind of sleep on it and think about that, right?
Yeah, because they've been out there, in living outdoors for some time. They should have tons of supplies, it seemed like. They had whatever they could bring. I don't know. I would have to think about that.
Yeah.
Okay, Screens and Focus friends, let us know what you think. You can contact us on our Facebook page, our Instagram account, Twitter, and you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel and our website at Screens and Focus Podcast. Diana.
Yes, Brooke.
What were your overall thoughts on both of these episodes?
Well, on episode 14, Morgan and Al meet a new character, Tom.
Oh, yeah.
And I like that it showcased Grace and Daniel.
Uh-huh.
And I thought their moments were really good ones. And I love that Morgan figured out the right thing to do. And then in episode 15, I have to say the first 15 minutes, it dragged for me.
Oh, okay.
I was not liking the whole interview documentary style anymore.
Right.
I liked it a few episodes back, but now I think we need to move on.
Moving on.
And we need to see some more walkers and zombies. Yeah. And also, Humbug's Gulch was... I just had a feeling it was going to be like Walley World.
Oh, okay.
It was going to be closed for business when the people got there. And, and I do like that the ending leaves us with our group having to make a decision.
Oh, I know.
I really did like that part.
The cliffhanger. Good thing it wasn't the last episode, though.
I know.
Oh, my gosh. How could they do that to us?
So, what about you?
Oh, yeah. You know what? Now that you're calling this place Humbug's Gulch, I'm glad because I was calling it Humboldt's Gulch. I didn't know I was getting it wrong. Okay. Yes. So we learn more about Ginny through Tom. And she sounds like she has no patience for the useless.
Yeah.
And I think that's really terrible because I can't understand.
I'd be dead.
Oh my gosh. I just can't understand that because, in this kind of a world, you would think that you would appreciate life more than not.
Right.
And so I think she's pretty dang cold.
Yeah.
With the documentary style film and that muted color film, I feel like this is reminding me of the Blair Witch Project.
Oh yeah, you're right. Uh-huh.
I remember going to the theater to see that movie. That was scary. But this isn't as scary to me. This is going on too long.
Yeah. Yeah.
I find it interesting to film half the season this way as it's creative, and I wonder if it has to be a part of the shows anymore. Are we done now?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Because it's just been such an influence in this season, and I'm just not sure if it needs to continue on. The tapes, though, they're a big part of this season. And so I'm glad I had some answers in these episodes about the tapes and why it's so dang important.
Right. Yeah.
But, I understood, but I didn't, I was just kind of over it. And
yeah, me too.
The dang camera is always rolling.
Yeah.
So.
I think I wanted to see more just interaction between the characters. And yeah, I know Al's talking to each of them, but I don't know. That's still not, it's too interviewy. I just don't like it. I want to see them. I want to see them together reacting and fighting against these walkers or the enemy or whoever they need to be.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's true.
I think we're done.
Yeah.
With that.
That's true. Do you think her story is done, though?
Who, Ginny?
No. Al.
Oh, Al. No.
Yeah. That's just who she is.
Yeah.
Camera Al.
I know.
What else did you see here?
Well, so Al and Morgan.
Yeah.
They're out making those box drops deliveries and run into Tom, who tells them about Ginny and the settlers and how he escaped being killed by them and that he's trying to get to his sister Janice, who's, out at the complex with Ginny and the settlers. Mm-hmm. So they decide to help her, but really, Al's going because she wants to know if her love, Isabel, has any connection with Ginny.
Oh, yeah.
And the group.
Right.
Because they have the same motto. It is not about today, but tomorrow. And so she's like, maybe I can find Isabel here.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so as they are trying to get into the complex, Morgan tells Al that, he has shared so much about himself with her, but she hasn't shared anything with him. And Al deflects like usual and asks him what he's running from, but neither one of them share anything at that moment. And, but then they see the gas tanker driving into the complex and realize that something has happened to their people.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, because they're like, how did they get this?
Mm-hmm.
So, they go in looking for Janice and intel, but Al ends up falling into a pool with a walker and fighting with it, which was such an intense scene. I thought for sure she was going to get bit.
Yeah.
I felt like it was harder for her to maneuver getting away from the walker in the water.
In water.
Yeah.
Why is it still so good at moving around?
Yeah, it was.
Drown already, Walker.
Yeah. And thank goodness Morgan saved her. And then, Al ends up finding out that Isabel and Ginny's group are not related. And then she ends up confiding in Morgan that she cares about Isabel. And then Morgan realizes he's living in the past and wants to get back to Grace.
Aww. You know what? With all of that and just understanding, I'm glad that I understand why Morgan has been doing the documentaries, because he's really been the best actor of the
group. Yeah.
And so it was so important to him to film, and I just kept wondering why. Why is it so important? But Morgan says that he doesn't need to do it for his own sanity anymore. So not only is it documentation for Al's stories, but it's just another trade that Al has that she's good at, psychology.
Yeah.
She's helping Morgan work through his issues, and it just kind of opens up the story.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
With Grace, she was doing really good with Daniel, and you think everything's going well, and then Morgan has this epiphany and decides to radio her because he's so excited, because I think he's like, oh, I can tell her that I care for her.
Yeah.
But when he radios her, Daniel gets on the radio and says, Grace is not doing good at all. Mm-hmm. I was really heartbroken at that time, because I've really come to like Grace a lot in these episodes. I would say the last few episodes, she's really grown on me, where I really, really like her.
Yeah. And
Morgan is finally coming to terms with his feelings and allowing himself to be vulnerable. And then he reaches out, and then he finds out that she's probably, she's on her deathbed.
I know.
And I had tears. This was my my sad time. I was like, oh, Morgan, he's finally opening up, and now she's going to die, and I like her. And so, so I thought that was pretty heartbreaking. So.
Oh, that's sad. Yeah. Oh, so Grace and Daniel's truck break down while they're gathering supplies.
Yeah.
And, Daniel, we see him carrying a bunch of record albums that he wanted to bring back for Charlie. Uh-huh. And they got trampled by some walkers that they had encountered. He was so bummed.
I know.
That's sad. He's so thoughtful. He really cares for Charlie. Mm-hmm. And so when they end up hiding at the bar, Grace discovers a guitar, and the two of them sing a duet on stage. And eventually that's when Grace becomes ill, right?
I really loved that part. Seeing the connection between Daniel and Grace. And then I was so impressed that she could sing.
Yeah.
I was like, I knew that Ruben Blades is a musician, but Grace, she's pretty good.
Oh, it was beautiful. It was nice. I think there should be more singing.
Yeah.
Ed Sheeran should really guest appearance.
Like he did on Game of Thrones. Yeah.
But that was really sad. It seems like Grace is slowly dwindling away, and that it is her fate. It's great that they have June, and they were able to take the ultrasound machine from the mall along with other supplies. But how stressful is that for June?
Right.
Ugh. Is she the only nurse in the group? That's a bummer.
Yeah, and then she wants to find a home for everyone, June.
Yeah.
And then she's trying to tend to Grace and take care of her, but she's only a nurse. And so, not a doctor. And she says she needs to get her hands on medical journals to really know what's going on in Grace's body.
Gosh, need to go to...
I know. I was wondering, where can she go? Where can she go?
Med school.
And then I love that John tells June that he doesn't want to wait. He wants to get married when they get to Humbug's Gulch.
Sweet.
I know.
Yeah.
And he tells her that they should get married. And she has this smile. As he's walking away, she has a smile and she looks at him. And I just loved it. I'm like, oh my God, she's so happy.
I know. He's so good.
And then as they're walking to Humbug's Gulch, it's a mouthful, John asks the rabbi if he can perform the ceremony. And then, he asks Morgan to be the best man.
That's so sweet. I love that. That's cool, right?
Yeah. And you had even said way back, will there be a wedding?
I cannot
we didn't
wait.
know because we thought, they'll get married sometime in the future. But look,
yeah.
Here it is. Here it's
so
coming.
Sweet.
Maybe, and then I felt really bad for June when they did arrive because she apologizes to everyone. And what a weight on her shoulders to feel that like she's failed them.
Yeah. She's been searching, for that right place. Like a cat, when they want their little perfect place in their bed and then they're just like needing it and going around in circles. Like she's just going around in circles in her head. No, that's not it. No. And then this was it. And then boom. And everyone's following her lead in that regard. And, everybody else working hard together. I feel really bad.
Yeah.
I do. So... with that, the group had to take a detour because they were on their way to the retirement center to get the medical supplies for Grace. I think she needed the IV solution.
Right.
Poor Grace, dehydrated. At least they knew that much.
That part was scary.
Yeah.
When Al gets those IV bags.
Yeah. And then the thing came behind her. Second encounter. I thought she was going to get bit for sure.
That's what I was thinking. Second encounter. I thought on both episodes she was going to get bit so bad.
Yeah.
And I screamed so loud. And my family's all, oh my God, we're deaf again. But I was like so scared. I was like,
yeah.
Oh, they're going to get her.
I know. Dominic was like, oh, that was close.
Yeah, it was.
She totally snuck up on her like that. Crazy. So they, went to go get the medical supplies for Grace, and they were running out of gas, and then they had to cross that bridge to get to Humbug's Gulch, right? And then when the cables that were supporting the bridge were snapping, oh my gosh, that scene was suspenseful. I thought someone's head was going to get cut off just because of the cables firing off everywhere. I was like, oh my gosh. That
was pretty realistic. At first I thought it was gunfire.
Oh.
I was like, what's that?
Right.
What's that?
Right. Yeah, I think I did too.
Yeah.
I think I did too. And then they're just like, oh, leave the truck there to bury the weight bearing. And like, I don't know. I'd be like, get off the bridge.
I know.
Yeah. And then the tanker, whatever. So then we see Virginia come up on her horse. And, she was offering their help. I knew she was not to be trusted just by the way that she was so manipulative when she was speaking to them.
Well, she followed them.
Yeah.
Here they are traveling, and it's like, how the heck did you know where we were at, lady?
Yeah. And then they leave. I'm wondering how those walkers ended up there. The Horde at the Humbug's Gulch.
Yeah.
I'm moving ahead of myself, but that's what I was thinking after her being there. But she then fires the shots and signals a horde of walkers to then endanger the group. And I was thinking, oh gosh, this is going to be so good. Because that was crazy. That was a crazy battle. That was so intense. And, you know, they all ended up having to fight off all these walkers. It was like, at first it was just like, it looked like 10 or something. And then it was just a horde. Yeah, big. Yeah. You know, and then Dwight was able to get one of the walkers, but then like kind of pushed the car and then kind of gave it a gateway for all the rest of the walkers to get through.
Oh,
so
I know.
That caused a huge problem. Yeah. Right? But that scene was so intense. Sarah was scrambling to fill the buckets with gas, and chaos is just everywhere. Al is fighting. Morgan is using his staff. Strand is fighting hard. I mean, everyone, all hands on deck. Mm-hmm. So when the tanker finally gives and then falls through, Tom, he's still documenting while everyone is calling him to get off the bridge, and then he doesn't go. It's so important to him that he gets the story, and then he falls through the collapsing bridge. Yeah. And I was like,
well, can't you save him? I mean, they didn't really show it, but I suppose he drowned, you know, there. But I'm like, is it that deep? Can you just get him? You know what I mean?
Maybe like a board stab. I don't know. Dominic's how did he die?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. Dominic's right. You're right, Dominic.
I was like, what a dummy. Like, just get off the bridge. And he's just like, oh, so amazing. Like, just the way he was behaving. It was just like, oh my gosh, this thing is falling apart right before your eyes. Why are you still there?
He should have gotten bit, if anything. Yeah. You know? So. Anyway.
Yeah, if like...
Hello, writers.
If that wasn't enough guilt for June to not make it, you know, or, you know, for it to be overrun and for her to apologize, like, then this is even more on her plate, I would think. And Grace.
And Al. All of them.
Everyone,
all of them.
Come on, let's go this way. Tom's like, oh gosh, gotta get this story. Yeah. That's dedication. He's just an intern.
I know he is.
But after that, I felt so bad that they had walked 15 to 20 miles with poor, sick, dehydrated Grace. Yeah. And then they saw that 5 miles to Humbug's Gulch sign, and it was like victory. I was like, oh, cool. They're finally almost there. Like, I can't imagine walking 20 miles and like, you know, almost that 5 mile mark must be like, oh my gosh, you're right there. Until they actually arrived and found that it was overrun by walkers. Mm-hmm. Dang it. That totally sucks.
I told you, Walley World. And for those of you who don't know what Walley World is, you need to watch Vacation, the very first one.
Yes.
Because Chevy Chase works his whole show to get his whole family to Walley World and suffers through all this, and it ends up being closed. We're closed until 2 weeks for restoration.
Oh my gosh.
And he goes and holds up John Candy as John Candy's the security guard. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting totally off the subject here, but it's a really good movie. I love that movie.
It's so good.
So
he's so funny.
Yeah. But anyway, so they get to Humbug's Gulch.
Yeah.
And it's filled with walkers.
That
vision was pretty horrifying.
I was like, oh man.
It's like
that's a lot.
Yeah, you're so thirsty, you're so drained, you're tired, you're like, let me just get in. And it's like, oh no, we're not getting in. Oh man.
Diana, what were other things that you noticed?
Well, I was happy that Wendell mentions going back to get Luciana when they get to where they're going. Because I was thinking this. I'm like, why did you just give up on Luciana? But he says it. He says it somewhere. I don't remember where. I just remember hearing him say it. Well, thank you for remembering her and bringing her into this episode. And then I was also happy to see all the kids in episode 15 that appeared to be MIA in previous episodes. We finally got to see them.
Yes.
So I was happy about that.
I know.
And did you see the look between Wes and Alicia?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, she gives him a smile.
I know. So cute. Yeah. I like it.
And, okay. And you had mentioned this before, but I'm going to mention it again, is why aren't they going to Daniel's warehouse with all the frickin' supplies?
Because they ain't got no plane.
Oh my God. Plane? Oh, did they have to get to was it on the other side?
Didn't they fly over there?
Now I'm all lost. No, because they came back, didn't they? Oh, maybe you're right.
Strand needed the plane.
I don't know. I'm so confused. No, he needed the plane to go but they're back. They're back.
Oh, they're back to where his...
Right? Yeah, they're back.
The heck?
Because they went to get them and then they left the place that was radiation and came back. So they're... if they can go to Humbug's Gulch, they can go to the warehouse that has all these supplies. Come on, writers. We need you to write it in there.
What the heck?
Yeah. I don't know. Now, the only thing I don't know is the location of all of this. So I don't know where it is in the map. So maybe it's not possible. But a tidbit, which I wasn't aware, but maybe you were. Did you know that Janice, who is Tom's sister, is the woman that Wes saved at the truck stop?
No.
It is.
Cool.
I know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so she got there and then he ended up saving her. So I thought that was kind of cool. It was the same person.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then I thought it was interesting having trouble on a bridge with it falling apart and having walkers after you, because it's the same thing that happened with Rick in season 9.
Yes. I thought the same thing. That bridge totally reminded me of when Rick in The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
When he went missing.
Yeah. They're on a bridge and walkers are coming and it's falling apart.
Yeah.
But I do want to say about Rick, he would not have called Ginny. I honestly don't think he would have called Ginny.
No, because then a freaking light would be shining on him and he'd be like, the luck has been drawn. Like, that guy. Yeah. I feel like there, because then Aaron came with the baby food. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there was always something on his side.
Yeah. There is.
Oh.
Because he's got that will. We're going to make it. We're going to do it. We're going to not, give in and everything else. So what about you? What other things did you notice?
I'm starting to miss the intensity of Rick in The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Okay. Other things that I noticed, I like that Morgan asked everyone if they had any ideas to move forward when they arrived to Humbug Gulch. Okay. I like that.
Uh-huh.
Because I'd be like, oh gosh, what do we do? Like, don't look at me for all the answers because I don't know them. And I love Daniel Salazar's singing voice.
Yeah.
I wanted to sing with him.
I know, right?
He was good. I got to watch it just because I want to hear him sing again. Mm-hmm. And I want to just listen to him, like maybe find some videos on him.
I actually do too.
He had a good voice. I love his tones that he played with, and I just like that. I want to learn how to sing like that. That swimming pool was so nice and clean, and I wonder if like Ginny and her group actually used the swimming pool. It was so clean, and then it had like the pool cleaner device in there. I'm like, man,
okay.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, must be nice.
I guess.
Let's go for a swim.
Right. The condo lifestyle. And then some of the walkers looked like the Whisperers. Their makeup looked like masks. I don't know if you noticed that, but I just noticed that a lot of the walkers looked like they were wearing masks, and maybe it was just the design team, but or maybe they're just using products from both shows. I don't know. It just, to me, it looked really
similar or familiar. Huh?
Yeah. And then the movements of the walkers, like maybe they need to take more of a dead training. They seemed so alive and they were so rotten.
Yeah.
So that's what I noticed. I don't know. But anywho, Diana.
Yes.
Why do you love the show Fear the Walking Dead?
Well, I really appreciate the tender moments and the unexpected moments. I love when Grace and Daniel, like we've talked about, sang that song together, because I really feel like Daniel cares for her. Like, like they're really good friends. And I like that he tells Morgan, say what you need to say before it's too late. So I just like those moments that Fear the Walking Dead puts in the show. And then I also like being really scared. Like we talked about, Al, I almost thought she was a goner twice.
Yes.
And so I just love screaming. So I just love the tender moments and I love the screaming moments. So I really appreciate it for that. What about you? Why do you love the show?
Well, there were some really exciting scenes these last episodes, and there's a constant creativity and there's raw emotions. And I love the actors, and they're really invested, and you can tell that they really love their work.
Yeah.
And that just makes me want to watch the show even more and just continue with their stories because they're doing such a good job.
Yeah.
And I really respect them, and I respect the show. So I'll continue to follow and see what's going to happen on the season finale next week or this Sunday.
Yeah. Well, this will air after the finale. So, but still, it is the finale coming.
I'm so excited.
And then we're on to The Walking Dead. Yes. So excited.
So if you could give an award to your favorite quote, character, or moment, who or what would you give your award to?
I would give it to Dwight.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. There is the Dwight I know and love. When Ginny mentions his wife Sherry's name, he goes after her. And I was so happy to see that he hadn't lost his edge.
Yeah.
And then later, when they're discussing about asking for help from Ginny, he says, no, not me. And, you know, but then they say, we have no supplies. And he says, I've gotten this far and had nothing, so I can keep doing it. Yes. I love that Dwight stands up for what he believes in, and I don't think that any of them should go back to her. And I understand that they're doing it for the group because some are not well, but kind of feels like you're selling your soul a little bit.
I know. Yeah.
So what about you? Who would your award go to? What was your favorite quote, character, or moment?
Well, my favorite character and I guess moment as well, I would give my award to Morgan, and I'm happy to see that Morgan is leading and managing the group with not much conflict other than how to get out of situations safely. So it's just his strategies that he's having a difficult time with, but he always seems to come through and support his group. He has good ideas and he controls situations fairly easy. He cares what the group thinks and takes their feedback into consideration. He is caring and not controlling, and I like that about him. Mm-hmm. He is an even keel, and he works well with pretty much everyone. But this is a really good group, too. So, and they don't really seem to complain a whole lot. So, Diana, what else are you currently watching?
Oh my gosh. So I am watching a lot.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm so excited. So I'm watching Unbelievable on Netflix. Oh. This is a true crime miniseries, and it's so good, and I am so hooked. The show is based on a true story about a young woman who's raped and considered unbelievable by the people that surround her. And it's a Pulitzer Prize winning story. And I read somewhere it says it's hard to watch and mesmerizingly addictive. And I thought that was so perfectly stated because that's exactly what it feels like to me. I'm on episode 4 or 5, and I think that there's 8. And I just cannot wait to finish.
Oh, cool.
I'm so excited about it. It stars Caitlin Dever. Oh. And it also stars Merritt Weaver, who's Denise on The Walking Dead, or was Denise on The Walking Dead. Died. And she's so good in it. So good. I saw her in Godless too, and I loved her in that. So I just think I really like her as an actress.
Okay.
And also Toni Collette is in it. So Toni Collette and Merritt Weaver are play detectives, but right now they have not crossed paths with the first victim, who is Caitlin Dever. So it's just, it's really good.
I'm going to watch it.
I would tell, people watch it. It's really good.
It just released, right?
Like a week and a half ago or something like that.
I got out my notification.
I am watching This Is Us season 4, and the first episode aired. It's really good. They introduce all these new people, but you don't know who these new people are, but you know they're somehow related to our group, and you're like trying to figure out who are these people. And of course, at the end, it ties it all together. Do you watch any of This Is Us?
I left off season 3.
Yeah, that's the end. So you'd be caught up.
Caught up now.
So, and then I just love Jack. They do go back to Jack and Rebecca's beginning stages of when they first started dating. And I love I love him. I love Milo Ventimiglia. And I just love Jack, his character, as a father and a husband. And I just think he's perfect. So I'm really enjoying that. And then I watched a new show called The Prodigal Son.
Okay.
And it's with Tom Paine, a.k.a. Jesus on The Walking Dead. So
awesome.
All these dead characters are coming up on other shows. I actually purposely watched this because I knew he was on it. And so he plays a criminal profiler called Malcolm Bright, who changes his name because his father is a serial killer called the Surgeon. And, this father's alive and in jail, and he wants this relationship with his son. And Lou Diamond Phillips plays a police officer who is kind of like a father figure to Malcolm. I just really love their relationship. And this was a really first good episode. And it's a little like Silence of the Lambs.
Oh,
so
nice.
Kind of like along that.
Oh, I've been wanting to watch Silence, so I'll watch this.
And then Michael Sheen plays the serial killer father, and he's really good at being creepy. Wow. It's like he adores his son when he's little. He's got those creepy eyes and stuff. So anyways, it's really good. It's only been one episode that I've seen. I think it's on Monday night. Yeah, Monday nights on Fox. So it's good. The Voice started. Gwen Stefani is on it. She replaced Adam Levine, and it's Blake Shelton, John Legend, and Kelly Clarkson, and they have just a great, great chemistry. The singers have been amazing. I just love the show, so it's doing really good. And then Mayans MC. Oh my God. Another couple awesome episodes. The brothers Ezekiel and Angel are getting into some trouble, and there is so much drama. So many secrets, so many betrayals, and it's so good. It's so good. So I would tell everybody all these ones that I have seen, I really recommend them. And I just think people would really like them. Okay. I've also seen, it's funny, but I'm noticing a trend that I see here. I see a lot of violence and killing in a lot of these. I'm like,
Yeah,
one is about rape. One's about profiling a serial killer. Yeah. The other one's about biker gang, and it's just crazy. But it's just they're all really good because they all deal with characters and people and relationships. So they're good. I did see Rambo: Last Blood, and I love Sylvester Stallone, so I had to watch it. I will say it's not the best, and just wait for it to come out on video. Okay. I love Sylvester Stallone, but I'm really bummed that it really wasn't that good of a movie. It wasn't written all that well, and I do love seeing him though. That's okay. But I just wish it would have been a better story. Okay. So, and then I saw Men in Black International, which I think you saw, didn't you?
No, not yet.
Oh, you haven't seen this. Okay, and I do miss Will Smith. Oh, okay. It was good. It's watchable. I heard that. So it's watchable film. Oh my gosh, I watched Between Two Ferns movie. Oh yeah, I saw the trailer for it. It's funny. Yeah. I don't watch the web series because he has a web series. Mm-hmm. It's funny. I don't watch it, but this was hysterical. I watched it on a Sunday morning. It was so entertaining. It's with Zach Galifianakis. He and his team need to get 10 interviews on the road to get his own network TV show per Will Ferrell. And so he interviews people, and he's so unfiltered, and it's hysterical. It's so darn funny. I was laughing so hard on some of these pieces. And he interviews people like Paul Rudd, Brie Larson, John Legend, Benedict Cumberbatch. And it's so funny when he's sitting there interviewing him, he's all reading his name off the paper, and he's all Benedict. Like, he's all Benedict been a lumberjack, and I'm like, gosh. Oh my god, it was so darn funny. And he does this with everybody's name. He's like, ruining it. And then he interviews Matthew McConaughey and Keanu Reeves, and they're funny. All these people that he's interviewing are so funny because they're playing this straight, no reaction, stoic person, right? And it's really good. I totally recommend it for just having fun. So, okay. That's most of the shows that I'm watching. There's others, but those are my highlights. Wow. So, Brooke, tell me what you're watching.
Oh, man, I feel bad. I don't watch nearly as...
You are so busy. You are so busy.
Yeah, but, so, okay, let me just go here. And, so you were talking about Sylvester Stallone. We did, within a couple of weeks, we did a Rocky marathon.
Oh, yes.
So we did from Rocky 1 all the way to Creed 2.
Uh-huh.
Dominic wants to be a boxer.
Oh, my God.
He is going to be Apollo Creed for Halloween.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was inspirational.
I do love Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
So.
And then they started watching Rambo, but I wasn't really, I was just kind of around.
Yeah. At the end of this Rambo, they show all the clips of the first Rambo, which was kind of cool. We stayed through and we watched them all. Those
that's
good.
cool.
Yeah.
Did they have the clip on, he ain't got no legs?
No.
Oh. Because that's my new thing.
But yes.
Yeah.
I have a friend. He used to do that all the time, and he would crack me up because he would say that all the time.
Oh my gosh. I was like,
he got no legs.
You know he was hoping to get that Oscar that year. So we watched the Rambo. We finally watched John Wick 3. It finally came in the mail. Yeah.
Yay!
It was good. I invited my mother-in-law over for dinner and a movie. And I was like, do you know John Wick? And she's like, no. And so I told her, I'm like, oh, well, this is part 3. So you're going to have to rewatch or watch part 1 and 2. But, please join us for dinner and we'll watch John Wick 3. It's violent. There's a lot of shooting and blood. But it's entertaining. And she came over and the whole time she's just like, oh, get him. Good. She's, and then Halle Berry was amazing in it. I tried watching Mindhunter. Yeah, she was beautiful. And those dogs. I want to train my dogs like that.
Now, remember I was telling you that's like the Doberman Gang, that old 70s show where they trained the dogs to be kind of like that. Yeah,
that's cool.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we have a cousin that she trains dogs to do that up in Washington. She's an amazing trainer. Anyway, so we watched John Wick 3 and then and then I started watching Mindhunter because you recommended it.
Yes.
I watched a couple episodes. I'm having a hard time following, and my sister recommended it as well. She said it was really good.
Yes,
they're binging it, but I'm not sure why maybe I'm not really focused. I know that he seems to have, this seems like this is his first sexual relationship. It seems like he's like a 16-year-old boy, like always wanting to have sex.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty funny. But okay, I can understand why it's good. And I do like, their, training the role playing and the training that they do in the show. It's really interesting, to see how, they do their job. So I just need to just keep watching it, to see, what more I think.
Yeah.
I'm still not.
Oh man, I really like that show.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like though, criminal profiling. I like that. I used to want to kind of do that. So maybe that's why I loved it so much.
I love crime and forensics and all of that, but I'm just, for some reason, I'm not.
I like getting into them, or I think I do. I probably really wouldn't, but I like the idea of getting into people's minds and figuring out why they do things and what are the characteristics people are that cause them to commit these crimes. I just find that fascinating.
Okay, so I'm going to keep watching it. And then I was doing Mad Men, because I've never seen Mad Men before.
Okay, you're watching a lot for not watching anything.
It just seems like I'm not, because I don't know, I like, whatever, I guess I do. So I'm like kind of going around like back and forth, different shows. I'm not going all the way straight through, which is fine, right? Because, back in the old days when we didn't get to binge watch and we hadn't, we kind of had to wait for each week the episodes to come out. It's fine. So my Mad Men, Mindhunter, I started Mayans MC.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, so I'm on season 1, I don't know, episode something, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting in there.
Yeah.
I like it. It's good. I think there's a really cute main character. He's super cute.
Heel.
Yeah, I like him. And he's a prospect, so
right.
They treat him like a prospect.
Yeah, and they call him that, the prospect.
He had to wrap a huge dead body in a saran wrap. And then,
that's right.
Put it
that's right.
On a, not a forklift, but, he had to wheel it out under this tunnel. I was like, oh my gosh, that sucks.
That show gets better because you start building. So I can see, so I would say with that show, everybody, if you start to watch that, you need to keep watching it because you have to kind of build on that one.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, the first episode, you're totally, sucked in and everything.
It's good. I mean, good. Yeah. Sons of Anarchy, I was hooked.
Right. And I think if you know that and like that too, then you can appreciate all the little Easter eggs that they leave.
I saw Gemma Teller in the prison. I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying that. What else am I watching? You recommended Woodstock on Netflix.
Oh, that's right. You watched that.
I watched it and I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
My eldest son, who's 19, or he'll be 19 next week. There's a dog barking. He did not know about Woodstock, didn't know what it was.
See? Yeah. I love it. Like, what did he think? Did he watch it?
He watched a little bit here and there. Yeah. And then I just quickly told him about it so that it would maybe grab his attention. And he was tripped out. He was like, 500,000 people in one place in 1 month. Of planning, having to move, just the details that they go through in this episode, documentary by PBS, and you could find it on Netflix. Please, everybody, watch it. It was amazing. I told Dominic about it. He asked his teacher about it,
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I told him, I said, ask Mr. Jones where he was in 69.
Oh my God.
And I think he said he was like 10 or something.
Yeah.
What else? Let's see. I think those are, as far as the shows that I'm watching, the past few days I've had PBS on, and there's been a country, where country music began and how it started. So they've had that playing, and I watched the episode on Johnny Cash, Dolly Parton, and then Willie Nelson and the gang, so all of those, and there's more artists that, and honestly, if you're not focused, zoned in on the episode, it's really good to just kind of have it on in the background because of music. All that true. Old country music you'll know, and you've grown up with, maybe some way, somehow. I used to watch PBS a lot, so it was probably, I found a lot of country on PBS way back when as well. So that was really nice to have on. It's almost done, but I'm sure you could rewatch it somewhere else. And my highlight is I actually had a date night and we got to see the movie premiere Downton Abbey.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Downton Abbey. I discovered it last holiday and it was my Sunday morning show for, weeks. And then my husband, he started joining in and he absolutely loves the show as well. So he bought our tickets and we went on a nice date and we ate junk food and had popcorn and it was beautiful. The movie was great. It was just like watching 2 new episodes of Downton Abbey and I could see that there could be more films.
Yeah.
Because it was just well done. It was just, like I said, continuing on their story and touching base on where they are. So I really appreciate it. And I just recommend it if you are a fan of Downton Abbey.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yes.
Thank you, Brooke, for those recommendations.
And thank you for your recommendations. I cannot wait to watch these shows.
I know. And I love it that you're watching shows I recommended. That's awesome.
Yep.
And thank you, listeners, for tuning in. We are grateful you tuned in. And we hope that something we said today resonated with you, gave you a chuckle, some happiness, some positivity, or some inspiration. Please subscribe to our podcast and tell a friend. We would love more members of our TV club. Rate and review the podcast on iTunes and Stitcher. We need your feedback.
We will be uploading a new episode Tuesday, October 15th, and our next show will be on Fear the Walking Dead, Season 5, Episode 16, the finale, and The Walking Dead, people.
Yes!
Season 10 premiere, episode winner.
Woohoo!
You can find our website listed in our show notes. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.